Hi and welcome. Today, we're diving into the world of microcontrollers. We'll explore the two most important microcontrollers you'll ever need, the notorious blank microcontroller and the versatile custom switch controller. Let's get started and create both from scratch. As you can see, my own microcontroller section is empty, thanks to a hard drive failure. Start by clicking on the microcontroller editor. Let's give it a name. Blank 1 by 1 is fine. But if we do that, we won't have a clear way to see its orientation when we spawn it into the world. So instead, let's go with a 1 by 2 design and add an on-off input at the bottom. This way, it'll be easier to place and recognize once spawned in. To add the on-off input, click on the Logic tab at the top. This will allow us to configure the input for our microcontroller. Let's add the on-off input at the bottom to complete the microcontroller. All that's left now is to save it. Give it a name like blank 1 by 2 microcontroller or something similar, making it easy to find later. Now, instead of entering the microcontroller editor, we can find our blank microcontroller and add it to our workspace. As you can see, it's much easier to identify its orientation. The axis we rotate around is the bottom part in the editor, where our on-off input is located. To edit the microcontroller further, press the Select tool and choose our blank microcontroller. Then, click the 3 little dots to enter edit mode once again. From here, you're free to continue modifying the microcontroller to suit your needs. Add inputs, outputs, or any other functionality you need. Next up, the notorious switch controller. This microcontroller is a game changer for managing on-off functions with ease. Let's dive into how to create one from scratch. As you can see, the original microcontroller have 4 logic nodes, an output, 2 inputs to select from, and are on-off switching between the 2 inputs. To get this working, we need to add 2 number inputs to the switch and include something to turn it on and off. We'll use 2 constant numbers and a constant on-off input to represent the on state. Let's connect it all up and give it some values. We're giving the on state a value of 1 and the off state a value of -1. Now, depending on the state of the on-off switch, the output would be either 1 or -1. That's a lot of clicking and connecting for what we commonly use these for. Most of the time, we want to control a pivot, door, hatch, or similar, which only need a value of 1, -1, or 0. We can simplify this process significantly. Let's add in our blank. We're going to place it next to the numeric switch. Once it's in position, click the 3 dots after selecting it to enter edit mode. Let's give it a proper name first. Switch microcontroller has a nice ring to it and is very to the point. Next, we're going to add a logic node, a number output, to be exact. Let's call it output, and change up the description. Drag the output node to an empty space on the schematic board. Next, press the light bulb to add behavior to our newly added nodes. This will allow us to define how the microcontroller functions based on the inputs we've set up. We're adding 2 property numbers. You can also use copy and paste here, just like we do in the vehicle editor. Add a numerical switch box. This will perform the same function as the built-in switch, allowing us to control the output more effectively. Let's connect it all up, link the output to the output, the on-off to the on-off, and the 2 property numbers to each of the number inputs. This will ensure everything is properly configured for our switch controller. Don't forget to name everything properly. Clear labeling will help you easily identify each component later on, making your microcontroller much more user-friendly. You can also set some default values here. I usually set the on value to 1 and the off value to 0. This ensures that the microcontroller behaves as expected right from the start. Well, most of the time, anyways. Lastly, don't forget to save it. I'll imaginatively call it Switch Microcontroller because I'm flowing with creativity. This way, you'll have everything set up and ready to use. Now, as you can see, our footprint is much smaller and performs exactly the same function as the built-in switch. While it may not work for all scenarios, You've got about 92.6% of your needs covered with this setup. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And please press that like button. If you found this remotely interesting, hit that subscribe button too. I have a lot more planned, so stay tuned.